Hi there, my name is Laura at Kelland-May, and this is Equestrian Skill Builders. This is where you get to send me your pictures and videos, and I help you improve your riding so that you can ride safely, comfortably, with confidence, and win more ribbons at your next horse show. If you'd like to have your own position review done, send me an email, thistleridge@hotmail.com. Today, I'm going to do a position review on some pictures that someone sent in to me, and I'm going to give this rider some exercises that they can do to help improve the riding position and stay in balance with themselves over top of their horse. Please like and subscribe. It will really help get these videos out to people who need them and should be watching them. First thing that I really noticed about this rider is that she's looking up and looking forward. Her head is up and looking in the direction of the next jump or where her horse is going. Really like the expression on this horse's face, too. It's really nice. And she has her hands firmly on the horse's neck and the reins, giving a lovely release, allowing the horse to move forward and round itself over top of its back. The other thing that we really like about this rider is that she's got the weight down in her heels. Really nicely done. However, let's take a look at some of the things that she really needs to work on to help get herself in balance with her riding. One thing we notice right away when we look at this rider is that she's standing up in her stirrups and pivoting and getting well ahead of the horse. You can really tell this because her seat is over the pommel of the saddle. And where would we like her seat? We'd like to have her seat more over the middle or over the seat of the saddle right here. You can see that her seat is well over the pommel of the saddle. She's standing up in her stirrups and her body is well ahead of the horse over top of the horse's shoulder. And for me, this means that she is standing up in the stirrups, leaning forward just as the horse needs to be lifting off and going over the jump. Now, I thought maybe I'll take a look at the other jumps to see the other pictures to see if this is just a one-of situation or if she's doing it in all the other pictures. So let's take a look. This one too, you can see that she is standing up in the stirrups with her seat over the pommel of the saddle. Again, we'd like to have her seat over the middle of the saddle with the weight coming down into her heels. Her eyes are up, that's beautiful, and she's got a release on the horse's mouth with her heels down. But she's standing up in her stirrups and she needs to have the weight coming down more into her ankles and around the horse's sides. Let's take a look at the next picture. Here's her seat. There's the pommel. She's standing up in her stirrups with her seat over the pommel of the saddle. Her seat should be more over the seat of the saddle, less over the pommel of the saddle. Her shoulder should be back like 30 degrees and her seat closer to the saddle. If her seat's closer to the saddle, it'll help get her weight down and around in her leg rather than pinching with her knee and pivoting on her knee, getting ahead of the horse. Looks like she's at a horse show as well. It's a really nice picture. It's from the side, and you can really see what I'm talking about here in this one. There's where her seat is. There's where the pommel is. Her seat is over top of the pommel, and her shoulders are well over the horse's shoulders. She's standing up in her stirrups, and this angle right here, her knee angle, there's her hip. Hip is right there, and her knee is right there. Then her knee to her ankle. This is her knee angle, and you can see how open that is. It should be closed more so that she can absorb the shock of the jump and stay with her horse rather than opening up that angle and getting forward and trying to stay with the horse by standing up and moving forward. That knee angle, this hip, knee, ankle angle should be more closed so that she can absorb and stay with the horse. So I really think that this is, from the pictures that she sent in to me, this is something that she does consistently. She has her seat over top of the pommel of the saddle, standing up in the stirrups, rather than folding and bending with the horse. She stands up and tries to get with the horse by standing up and moving her upper body forward. Well, what can we do and where should she be? Where should she be and where should her shoulders be to be in a safe, balanced position with her horse? I've marked in red where you can see her body and the angles that her body are right now. Her shoulders are well over the horse's shoulders. Her hips are over top of the pommel of the saddle, and her knees are quite open. So let's take a look at that. I've got it marked up here, and you can see right here that her shoulders are down near the horse's neck. Her hips are here over top of the pommel of the saddle. You can even see the pommel of the saddle right there. And then her knees, angles open, and her heels are there. Her heels position looks good. Her stirrup leather is parallel to the girth, but this is way too far forward. And what we'd like to do is show you where approximately this rider should be to be in balance with her horse. We'd like to have her seat over the seat of the saddle. And to move her seat back, what are we going to have to do to make that happen? You can see that her seat is over the pommel of the saddle. We like to have her seat over the middle of the saddle and a little bit of a 2-point. And then her upper body, her shoulders, slightly in front of the vertical, about 30 degrees in front of the vertical. So if this is completely horizontal, up and down like this is 90 degrees. 45 would be here. We want her about 30 degrees in front of the vertical. 30 degrees is a good rule of thumb to help keep you safe and with the horse without getting left behind or getting too far forward. You want to be not perfectly up and perpendicularly up and down or too far forward. You want to keep about 30-degree angle so that you can stay in balance with yourself and with your horse. And from the seat, this is the angle, and then your hip to your knee to your ankle, that's this angle. And if you contrast these two angles, this hip, knee, ankle, that where she's wide open, this is a very big angle here, and the hip, knee, ankle, this is a much more shorter, tighter, smaller angle where the rider can get in balance with herself and use those joints to absorb the shock of the trot and keep yourself relaxed and over top of your horse. You don't want to open this angle up too much because you get ahead of the horse and you're leaning on his neck, and that's no good. And once your body's in the correct position, that'll help put your arms and hands in the correct position. Once your body's in the correct position here, then from your shoulders, your arms will hang down with your elbow and your hands right on the horse's neck. And that means that you can give a nice release, loose release, so the horse can reach and stretch over top of the jump. Those are the main things that I see about this rider, that she's leaning forward down on the horse's neck and opening up that knee angle, this angle right here. This angle right here, she's opening that up and pushing your seat well in front of where it needs to be. Seat should be over the seat of the saddle with this angle, knee angle, closed so that she can absorb the shock of the trot and keep quiet and steady over top of her horse when she's going over jumps. One of the best exercises that this rider can do is to ride in your 2-point position. But just not willy-nilly riding around in 2-point position. Set up some poles on the ground. Set them up 4 feet apart, or just lay out rails on the ground randomly and steer around these poles on the ground so that you have to stay in your 2-point and stay still. None of this leaning down, leaning forward, or standing up and pushing yourself up out of the saddle. Stay still, stay in your 2-point. Don't move. Keep the weight into your heels. Keep that knee angle relaxed and absorbing the shock of the trot, and stay still as you're riding around. This is the number one thing that this rider needs to do to help stay in balance with her horse. Right now, she's getting to a jump and opening up that hip angle. She's opening up this hip angle right here. Opening up the knee angle and standing up. And that, when you're coming to a jump, and if you stand up and put all the weight onto the horse's shoulders, that's a big move that the horse is going to have to compensate for. Keep yourself still, stay in your 2-point, relax, let the joints of your hip, your knee, your ankle Absorb the shock of the trot, of the canter, and of the jump when you go over your jumps. Stay still. Keep yourself relaxed. Don't push yourself forward by opening up that knee angle. My name is Laura. If you have any questions or want your own position review done, send me an email, thistleridge@hotmail.com. Send me a couple pictures or a short video, and I'd love to do a position review for you. Send me an email, thistleridge@hotmail.com. Thanks now. Bye.